Hello, I'm Gearlene Williams-Dortch. This is the 7 Keys to the Prosperous Life. Our title today is To Be True to Yourself and to Others. My special guest is Karen McElrath. Hey Karen, can you tell us what's the role of a life coach?
Well, Gearlene, first let me back up and say thank you for having me. I really appreciate this opportunity to be here. To be involved with 7 keys to a prosperous life. 7 is a good number. 7 represents completion.
Yes.
So it's a good number to have.
Yes.
A life coach. A life coach is an individual that supports you and your goals. I don't make decisions for you. I don't recommend what you should do to reach your goals. We have a discussion. You decide your goals and what you need to do to complete those goals. I support you the entire way. If the goal isn't reached the first time, that's fine. We keep on going, but it has to come from you and your heart.
But like I say, if no one don't really know what direction they should go, how do you get them in that direction? Say if they want to, they're good at basketball, but they really don't know about basketball or a sport or a job, a particular job they want to get. How do you get them to realize what their goals are?
Well, it still starts with the individual. With the questions that I ask, I don't want to ask you a question that gives you the answer. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, is that necklace too big for your neck? Well, then that's giving you the answer. I had asked you, what do you feel about that necklace? So when I'm talking to you and asking you questions, the questions have to come, the answers have to come from you, from your spirit. Because 9 out of 10 times, you know what you want to do. You already know within your spirit and your soul what you want to do. And then a lot of times we're apprehensive about even taking the first step. I help you take that first step.
Like we was talking about earlier about looking in the mirror.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, when you look in the mirror, you look for all the flaws.
Yes.
But one of the things that I like to tell people is before you leave the house every day, turn around, look in the mirror and say, Jesus Christ, I look good. Be proud of who you are. There is no one else like you. And one of the things I want you to remember is you talk to yourself more than anyone else in the world. But as you're talking to yourself, you're also talking to your spirit.
Right.
And that spirit is who? Okay. So You're talking to that spirit, and that spirit has told you what you need to do.
Right.
But too many times you talk yourself out of it.
Right.
Well, I'm here to keep you on track, to help you understand that you can do it. But we can take it step at a time how you feel it should be. You set the goals. You set the tones. If we set a goal at one session and we come back and it's not met, that's okay. We'll find another goal or we'll start over.
So you're not a person going to put somebody down and say, hey, stupid, you didn't do it that right.
No, not at all. I am here to support you totally. Now, if you want to go blow up a building, I'm not going to support that, of course.
I hope not.
But I'm here to support you as an individual, as a spiritual being.
Okay. So say I don't even know what my goal is going to be. I might have an inkling, but how can you bring that out of me?
Step by step. By the questions I ask and by how you express yourself. And then also we want to have like a personal relationship to a degree because everyone has a story.
Right.
And sometimes my story can relate to your story. And as you see how I might have accomplished or overcome some things, you can do the same thing. A lot of the things that people have in their heart is fear. And fear is false experiences appearing real.
Yes.
So we help alleviate that fear step by step.
Right.
We help you feel better about who you are.
Like we were speaking before, we talking about how we celebrate our false.
Yes.
Instead of celebrating what we accomplished, we celebrate the sadness. We celebrate. What we do, we grab a pint of ice cream,
right,
a candy bar,
absolutely.
Whatever that we're not supposed to be eating. That's what we do, and we sit there in our sorrow, but we don't realize we are celebrating that sorrow.
That is correct. And so you need to celebrate your successes.
Yes.
Having a pity party does not solve anything.
Yes.
Now, even if you do have a pity party, that's okay, as long as you don't stay there.
Right.
You still have to keep that attitude, that focus on, I can do better.
Right.
No, I will do better.
Right.
No, I have done better.
Right.
And you keep that going and keep that going. It takes 13 negatives to overrun one positive. Let me take that back. It takes 13 positives to override one negative.
Okay.
So you have to be positive more and more and more. You talk to yourself more than anyone. What are you saying?
Yes.
You know, not Susie Jane doesn't like my shoes.
Right.
Well, you know, it's none of Susie Jane's business. I like my shoes.
Right. We do talk to ourselves. And I catch myself a lot. If I'm working on a project, I'm talking to myself, okay, this is Gearlene. If I'm Gearlene, what would I really want to do for this project? You know, and my dad used to talk to himself all the time. And I walk in the door and say, he's talking. I said, Daddy, what are you doing? He said, I'm trying to get my answer. I said, talking to yourself? He said, yeah.
Yeah. And guess what? You listen.
Right.
You know, some people, when you're talking, they're not listening.
Right.
But you listen to yourself.
Right.
So what are you telling yourself?
What
are you saying to your inner spirit, to your positive guide?
Yes.
I mean, who says you can't have it?
Right.
You do.
Right. We have to make the decision of what we're going to do, and don't let anything get in your way.
That is correct.
We have to stay focused. If there's life in life, there's always challenges. And that, like you said about that kid, tell us about that Fisk.
Okay, well, there was what came from Delarice. Just imagine that you have a beautiful clear tube, and you can see straight through it to your greatness, straight through that tube. Well, then you go to work, and the boss tees you off. So you put that in the tube, kind of clogs it up. Then the kids tear up the house. You put that in the tube, and it clogs you up. Somebody cuts you off in traffic, and you put that in the tube, it clogs you up. Now you cannot see clearly. You cannot see through that tube. So handle one situation at a time, and then you clear that tube as you clear your mind and you reach for that connection. You can see.
So we should be clearing that tube when it happens.
That's correct.
We can't let it pile up and plug us up. Because each time we just let it go, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. But at each time we say we don't have time for that, we're plugging it up.
That's right. You are plugging it up. You're not handling it. Well, I'm not going to do anything about it. Well, I just let it go. But it's still in you. It's still building up.
Yes.
And then what happens, the one day when you snap, people are going to say, what's wrong with you?
Right.
Because they don't know how much you have built up and
Yes.
built up and built up. And no one knows but you.
Yes.
So whatever way you can release it, you can do a burning bowl ceremony where you write down the negatives on a piece of paper and you burn it and you release it to the universe.
Right.
You can meditate on it. You can go out in the middle of nowhere and scream
Yes.
to the top of your lungs.
I have done that.
Okay,
I have done that.
You have to get it out.
Right.
You have to get it out.
Because if you don't get it out, you're going to be the worst person.
That's correct. And also keep in mind that what goes in the inner shows on the outer.
Yes.
So if you keep these feelings inside, then why did I get this headache? You know,
Right.
why do I have diabetes? Why do I have high cholesterol?
Right.
Why are my bones aching?
Right.
How do you feel about yourself? That makes a difference.
Right. Stress. Stress would kill you. That's a silent. They say that's a silent killer.
Absolutely.
Stress would do it, and that's like what we were speaking. That will is part of stress. That not letting that tube clear itself.
And another thing, Gearlene, is that so many people, we don't want people to know our business. Well, with me as a life coach, you sign a contract that what we talk about is confidential.
Okay.
And I don't have the right to share with anyone else what you tell me, and vice versa, because I might share some things with you that are quite personal.
Right.
But if I need freeing, if I need a release, well, then I might mention some of my stories to you.
Right.
And that's okay. The thing we have to get past is your business is your business. And no matter what someone else feels.
Yes.
It doesn't have anything to do with your life.
Right.
Because they're not going to pay your bills.
No.
They're not going to feed your children.
Nope. They're not. They're not. You know, I'm so glad this title, Be True to Yourself and Others. You know, if you lie to yourself.
You're going to lie to others.
Right. And we do lie to ourselves. You know, we know when we did something is wrong. Instead of correcting it, you lie to yourself.
So it's okay.
Yeah, it's
and
okay.
I've done it. We've all done it. Well, it's okay. You know.
Right, but it comes back every time.
Every time.
I don't care what you do in your life. It comes back to you. That's why I was just speaking. We talking about the young generation. You know, they don't understand what you're doing right now. It's going to affect you 50 years from now.
Absolutely. So many people are not going to have a pension. They're going to be working until they're 102 years old because they are not saving money. They are not taking care of the future. Now, unfortunately, some young people don't believe they have a future.
Yes.
And that's what they have to work on. Or if they were one of my clients, we'd work on together.
Right.
I've heard young people tell me, I don't expect to live till I'm 25 years old.
Don't you say that?
You know, and that's an expectation.
Right.
you get what you ask for.
Yes.
And you don't want that.
Right.
Because in your mind, when anyone is alone or anyone is walking down the street, their thoughts are in control.
Yes.
So let's think positive.
Yes.
Let's think successful.
Yes.
Let's think prosperous.
Yes.
And we can move on from there.
Right. And, these young ones have kids at an early age.
Mm-hmm.
So they're showing their kids their fears.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
They're not showing the kids the positive. Mm-hmm. They're showing the kids the fear. So that's why a generation to generation keeps going in that same way, because all they saw was fear. Fear. All they ain't see nothing positive. They ain't see nothing good going higher. They can see, if I sell drugs, I can make some money. But they don't realize that drugs, it's number one, is going to kill them or kill someone else. They're going to take your money, because all the money that you get, that fast money you get, is fast going to a lawyer.
I will explain something to you, though. There was 2 stories I'll tell you right quick, Gearlene. Is I have a friend. Her whole family was on welfare to welfare and welfare to welfare. And she came to me as a young adult, I'd say a teenager, and told me she will not be on welfare. Now she's a successful, prosperous individual with real estate. Her own kids are doing well.
Hey, Karen, isn't that a story about the big-time drug dealer at the Spanish Center who wanted to start a daycare center?
Okay, he wanted to use some of his proceeds from his drug sales to open a daycare center in his neighborhood. Right. And he went to the churches, and he went here, and they all turned him away because that's drug money. Mm-hmm. Well, when he came to me, the only thing I could suggest to him is, if you're turning bad into good, your community needs a daycare center. No, we're not happy with how you got it, but you have it.
Right.
And you want to do some good with it.
Right.
So that's your own freeing source.
Right.
From what you've done.
Right.
You can't go back now.
Right.
Because they did wind up killing him. But his money
right.
would have been in the community, and people would have grown from it.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Yes. We got to know whatever we do, good or bad,
we can fix it.
It's going to come back. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, you might have a chance to turn it around for the good, but you might not. If it's not possible to turn it around, you better change it at that moment, right now, in the steps, and don't wait till I got plenty of time to change it. I'm just 20-some years old. I got plenty of time.
The time is now.
The time is now.
The time is now.
Because you don't know what date that God gave put on your head.
That's correct.
Only He knows how much time you got on this earth. We don't. We just guessing.
Right. Life is for living.
Yes.
Life is for living, and it is living it stress-free. Because when you're in a situation that is illegal,
right,
then you have inner fear.
Right.
And why live with inner fear when you can live with joy?
Yes.
You have a choice.
You have a choice. Mm-hmm. So today, we was talking about be true to yourself and others, and I have had a great time, Karen. Before we close, I would like to say thank you to my sponsor, St. James United Body of Christ Church. And we'd love to give your business an opportunity to advertise on this show. Please contact me at the7keys.org so we can be a blessing to one another.
Again, my name is Karen C. McElrath of KMC Business and Communications. My email is CAMILLEKMC@gmail.com. My number is 815-735-2579. Gearlene, thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you. You can also hear